In this video, you are going to learn how to use proportion or proportional reasoning to solve percent problem. So before we can go into the lesson or into this example, first you need to know what we mean by proportion. So proportion is basically an equation in which you have two ratios equal to each other. For example, what we have here, this is a percent proportion formula where you have part over whole equals to percent over 100. So this is a proportion. Proportion is basically you're comparing the part to the whole. And these two ratios here set equals to each other. It's the same thing as, ratio is the same thing as fractions, all right? Comparing the part to that of a whole. So now that we clarify what we mean by proportion, let us go into the problem. It says, what is the percent change of the alligator's length? What do we mean by percent change? So percent change is basically describing how much a quantity change relative to its original amount. A percent change can either be an increase or a decrease. So using this picture to my far right, it says, last year, the length of the alligator was 32 inches, and this year it is 38 inches. If you notice the quantities here, it went from 32 to 38. So we know that the length has increased, right? It increased by 6. But what is this as percent? How much percent did it increase by? So that is what we want to find out. Already we know the amount or the quantity it increased by, but what is that as percentages? What is that as a percent? So we are going to use this proportion or percent proportion formula to find the percent change or the percent increase. So in doing this, it's always good to write down what you are given based on the problem. So this can help you to find what you don't know. So here in the problem, we are given the whole. What do we mean by whole? In this situation, the whole is the original value, what it was before it changed. So the whole here would be 32 inches. What is the part in the problem? The part is the difference between the original value and the new value. So the old value was 32, which is the old length, what it was before it changed, or the original value before it changed. And now the new length is 38. So to find the part, you are going to take 32 from 38. So that is going to be left back with, we're going to be left back with 6. So the part is 6 inches, right? So it increased, the length increased by 6 inches. Now, what is a percent? So the percent, basically based on the question, is what we are finding. We are going to call it P since the word percent starts with P. P is our unknown. P is what we want to find, which is the percent. So now that we have all of this information here, we are going to substitute it into our proportion to find our percent. So remember now, it is part over whole. Our part is 6. Our whole is 32. And we are finding percent, which is P over 100%, means out of 100 or per every 100. So it's always going to be as a fraction, our percent, our 100 is our denominator. All right. So now we have our proportion. We are going to cross multiply to solve. Cross multiplying is the same thing as using the butterfly method. So 32 times P is going to be 32P, and 100 times 6 is going to be 600. So now we have an equation. We are going to solve for the variable. I solve for the unknown. To solve this equation, we need to use what we call inverse operation. Inverse operation is basically undoing or doing the opposite of what is happening to the variable there. So the variable here is being multiplied by 32 to get rid of this 32 or to eliminate the 32, because we need P by itself, because as you look in the proportion, P is what we want. We don't need 32P. You divide, which is the opposite of multiplication. You divide by 32. And if I divide my left-hand side by 32, I need to also divide my right-hand side by 32. So this 32 here cancels the 32 in the denominator. So here we have P, or we could say 32 into itself goes 1, and 32 into the denominator there goes 1. So here we just have 1P or P. If you divide 600 by 32, you are going to get 18.75. But looking back at the question, it says, what is the percent change? All right. So you know you must write your answer as a percent. To represent a number or write a number as percent, we use the percentage symbol, all right, to show that it is in percentages. So our answer is 18.75%. So now the percent change is 18.75% increase. So the length of the alligator increased by 18.75%. And that is how you use proportion or proportional reasoning to solve a percent problem. You can use this to find percent. You can use it to find the part. You can use it to find the whole. It depends on what the problem asks you to find. All you need to do, write down your information, write down what you know, and find what you don't know. Use it to find what you don't know. Right?